In our previous segment, we visited the Tirau Museum. But I want to discover more about this tiny town. So to find out more about Tirau, I'm meeting local historian Gwen Syme, who has quite a connection to the district. Les and Gwen's farm dates back to 1907, which makes it almost 3/4 as old as the town of Tirau. So when was Tirau settled? Well, the story of how this town came about is quite an interesting one, as it turns out. But first up, how did a school teacher from Matamata end up as a farmer in Tirau?
I came teaching in Matamata and met a dairy farmer called Les Syme, and we got married 45 years ago.
Les's farm has been in his family?
Yes.
For quite some time?
Yes, for 110 years.
Just 40 years before Les and Gwen's farm was established, Tirau was not even on the map. Well, at least not the European map.
In the 1860s, were mainly Maori living here. The Maori were the Rakawa tribe.
During the 1860s, blocks of land were gradually purchased for cattle grazing and many settlers moved into the area. However, Tirau was hardly on the map until one of our most infamous warriors turned up.
120 armed constabulary were sent here to Tirau, and they managed to chase Te Kuti back to Te Papa. There was a marae there, and then eventually he retreated to Rotorua. So the few European settlers and the Maori felt safer when he'd gone.
It's plausible that without Te Kuti, Tirau may never have come into existence, as it was during this time a military outpost was established here. With Tirau being a natural crossroads and the ground ripe for agriculture, it wasn't long before farmers could see the potential, and tourism also sprang up in the area, when the Okarari Hot Springs Hotel was built in 1889.
The railway came from Auckland to the Okarari railway station, which was a building on the side of the railway track, and someone would come with a coach and horses from Okarari Hot Springs Hotel and pick them up. 1886, the railway was extended to Tirau, and that was a big thing. This opened a whole new world for them of reliable transport, because you could now go to Auckland. The milk went on the train. The students went to Matamata College, sheep, bobby calves, fertiliser came, so the railway did make a big difference.
There's not much left of that now though, is there?
No, the railway station is gone.
After the Māori Wars, after Tirau had become a really well-established town, it was all about agriculture.
It was a service town. There were creameries in the 1900s, and then the New Zealand Cooperative Dairy Company bought land near the railway line and near the Oraka stream because they said that the pure water of the Oraka stream would make the finest butter in the world. The factory then changed and became a milk powder drying place in the 70s, and then in the 1980s it was revamped again and it became lactalbium, ethanol and casein, and it was opened by the Prime Minister of the day, Robert Muldoon, and we went and he told us that he'd had his honeymoon at the Okarari Springs Hotel and...
Claim to fame.
Yes, that's
awesome.
right.
Yes, Tirau has attracted many famous people to the area, including the head honcho of the colonies herself.
It was a huge occasion for the small town. She came to the domain and there were 8,000 people there. Neighbouring farmers opened their paddocks for people to park their cars. People came from all over because there were only a few hundred people living in Tirau at the time.
We're now into the modern era. Tell us what happened to Tirau in the 80s.
We lost our post office, lost our bank, lost a doctor, chemist, all the essential things that you need.
During the upheaval of the 80s, Rogernomics era Tirau fell upon hard times. But in 1989, a family moved to the district who would be instrumental in Tirau's revival.
Henry and Anne Clothier came and lived here. Henry has done a lot for the town. He was telling everybody this is a wonderful location, crossroads, State Highway 1, State Highway 5, State Highway 27 all converge here. And he and his wife opened an antique store. Henry Clothier started the Tirau Antiques, and he encouraged quite a few other people to come and have shops here. And then we felt that we needed better toilets. So someone came up with the idea of a information centre and toilet in the shape of a dog.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes.
In the next story on Tirau, we'll discover who that someone was and find out how Tirau became the corrugated iron capital of, well, the world.